Bernie Sanders was asked about Tara Reade. Now, if you guys remember Tara Reade, young lady who accuses Joe Biden of sexual misconduct, of being a degenerate space invader and a demoralizer of women. She says back in 1993, he touched her in a way that was totally inappropriate without permission, and that she was subsequently fired for that, fired for trying to seek recourse. And this has been something that was brushed under the rug until Bernie suspended his campaign. And now suddenly, now that the campaign's been suspended, they have permission to talk about it, Johnson. Yeah, see, because they didn't want the allegations to hurt Joe. I wonder if there would have been allegations against Bernie, would those allegations have been hidden until after Joe dropped out? Or suspended his campaign? I don't think they would, which is, part of my argument about everyone's talking like everything's fair and Bernie gets treated fair. He didn't. He didn't get treated fair. Always got to be a part of your analysis. So, but now that they're talking about it, even though they're marginalizing it, when they do talk about it, it's very cryptic, or it's either bashing the allegations as being unfounded. I saw one CBS coverage of the Tara Reade allegations of Joe Biden. They ended the segment by saying,
"What is clear about this claim, they say, it is untrue." And Casey, the most recent action that Reade took is going and filing a police report here in D.C. with D.C. Metro Police. She did that on Thursday night. She said that it was for an assault that happened sometime in the spring of 1993. But I would point out that those claims are obviously past the time that they can be prosecuted. The statute of limitations is up on that. And it also is illegal to falsify police reports. That's what we know at this point, Casey.
Yeah, she filed paperwork, and that's against the law to make a false statement. Like she's gonna get locked up because it's a false statement. They were implying that it was false. And I've seen op-eds by people like I forget her freaking name, Joan Walsh. Joan Walsh wrote an opinion piece about why she doesn't think it's credible. No, she hasn't talked to Tara Reade. No. No, she hasn't talked to any of the people that corroborate Tara Reade's story that she told them back in 93. She hasn't talked to anybody. No, she hasn't. But she just felt she'd write an opinion piece about how bogus it was. Because she's Joan Walsh, and she can do that. Well, anyway, here goes Bernie Sanders responding to a question by a CBS anchor about Tara Reade and Joe Biden.
Most important allies, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, said recently that she thinks it's legitimate and relevant to talk about sexual assault allegations against Joe Biden. Do you agree?
I think it's relevant and to talk about anything. And I think any woman who feels that she was assaulted has every right in the world to stand up and make her claims.
Do you think that should weigh significantly in the mind?
I think that she has the right to make her claims and get a public hearing, and the public will make their own conclusions about it. And I just don't know enough about it to comment further.
Bernie Sanders said that a woman should be, like her allegations should be investigated, which is much more than anybody on CBS said, much more than I heard Joan Walsh say, much more than I heard Alyssa Milano say, who was a champion for Me Too movement. Much more than most of the neoliberals, 90%, 95%, 100% of the neoliberals that I've seen on Twitter who weighed in on this topic. Also, in that question, you hear they're asking, hey, AOC responded to this, and she said that they should look into it and that Tara Reade allegations should be taken very seriously and they should be investigated. So we got two people. We have two people, both progressives, both willing to say, yeah, this should be looked into. This should be examined. She deserves that right. All allegations should be taken seriously, and you should expect nothing less. Here's my thing. When you go after Bernie Sanders and you go after AOC, you're going after the only two people that are willing to do that. Now, I don't know what other people said about this. Like, I don't watch their videos to find out what they said. I'm just wondering how much credit was given to Bernie Sanders, who recently endorsed Joe Biden, to the fury and the anger of so many people that actually supported him. Not the people that didn't support him, who hated him, who made, but to his actual support base, was pissed. Now, some of us understood he already agreed to do that. There should be no surprise. That's why we wanted him to win, so he wouldn't have to do that crap. But even though he endorsed Joe Biden, he's saying, yeah, investigate it. I think that says something about integrity. And I find myself having to defend his integrity so often. It's ridiculous. AOC, I understand. I have friends who are very worried about AOC, and some of them based on good reasons, okay? I tend to give AOC a large amount of credit being so young in these positions. I understand what it's like to be under that type of pressure, similar amounts of pressure I've had in my own life at a very young age, in these corporate structures. And I compare government to be the ultimate corporate structure. Those who have never had that, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, they might not understand it. Well, hell, I'll talk about it now. I think that Bernie Sanders and AOC here, standing up for Tara Reade, it's never as far as we want it to be. I'll say it, man. It's never as far as we want it to be. We want Bernie to say, lock everybody up. Lock the guy up. Don't even investigate. Lock him up. Stop everything. Get to the bottom of it now. That's what should happen. Freak it all. Bump it all. Do it. Get it done. Investigate now. I want it all done now. Halt everything. For some, that wouldn't even be good enough. Well, he didn't say take him outside and shoot him, so I told you he was a sheepdog. I told you just there to mislead. He's a plant. I told you. He didn't say, throw him down some steps. So obviously, controlled opposition. To those people, won't you just leave politics alone? Just leave politics. Go do something else. I understand. You don't. Everybody's a liar. No one's good enough for you. Your goal for perfect is the enemy of the good. I get it. Just go away. Go cover sports. Go cover football. That's it. Just go cover football, because no one's ever going to be good enough for you. Now, I'm not talking about everybody, okay? But I want you to walk with me for this for a second. We got people who've never lived outside of their own homes, who've never paid a mortgage or paid a rent. We have people who don't have kids, don't have grandkids, don't have wives or significant others, some of them. We have people that have never held a significant job, never held a corporate job, never worked in politics, never worked on a campaign, never ran for office. With all of those, some of those, all of those, part of those, telling other grown-ass people in the real world what the hell they should do behind a computer on a microphone in a basement or a room which they never leave to do anything in the real world that impacts anyone, and they want to be the authority, and goddamn it, if you don't listen to them, you are dog shit. And I just gotta say, guys, God bless them. God bless them. God bless them. Look, go help somebody run for dog catcher. Work your way up. These people they feel spiteful towards AOC because they didn't get a chance to work on a campaign. Go work on a campaign for somebody running for dog catcher first. Build a resume. Build some credibility besides being on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like, go create a track record of success. Then come pontificate and tell people what they need to do, what they should do. You're making us look stupid and childish. We have someone with no hair on their face who lives in their basement telling other people, telling grown adults who have served this country and not served this country, who have provided service to this country, whether in a capacity as a armed services on the field of battle, in war, or in public service, who have never done any of that, pontificating, who should be busy playing Call of Duty. Playing Call of Duty this time last year, now telling grown-ass adults what to do. And I'm just saying it doesn't make sense. Now back to this. All I'm saying is AOC and Bernie, they're not perfect, but I appreciate them This gives you considerable amounts of heat. You don't understand it. I know it doesn't matter to you because you're not in any public official capacity, nor have you ever been, okay? But this gives them a significant amount of heat just for saying what they said. I know you don't care. I know it's never enough, but I just want you to acknowledge that's why everybody else is not saying anything. And even when they do, you chastise them for not saying enough. So what you effectively do is you make it damned if they do, damned if they don't. If you don't speak up for Tara Reade, damn them. If you do speak up for it, they didn't speak up enough. Damn them anyway. Well, then why speak up? Because they get damned anyway. So instead of having their backs when they stand up for you, you destroy them because they don't have your back enough. And what that does is that tells everybody there's no reason to stand up because you're just going to be destroyed by the establishment and then by you. I rest my case. Now, so look, guys, we usually start this thing off. I try to start it off telling people, look, we know what's going on with the coronavirus, the COVID-19 serious thing. I understand. Everyone's stressed out, man. Everyone has problems. Everyone has issues. What's going on in Michigan and some other states as well are protests because people are tired. Here goes a little clip they aired on MSNBC where they talked about what's happening in Michigan specifically.
Save something that we hold sacred. Save something that we hold sacred. And now we have these people who, after a few weeks, have run out of patience. And if that means that a few thousand or 10,000 or 100,000 more die, that's okay with them. They just want to be able to get their smoothie. This is embarrassing.
John Heilemann, there seemed to be some confusion among those protesters. Here they are saying, let's get back to normal. And with several of them that I saw in the photographs wearing masks at the same time. So the ones with the masks seem to believe something real is happening.
Yeah, Lawrence, I obviously agree with the congressman on some level that the extremity of what's going on there is kind of ludicrous, and some of the behavior of some of these people who are making the rabble-rousers here have obviously lost track of reality and aren't kind of taking into account the public health issues in play. But look, I mean, the unemployment numbers that you went through earlier, those numbers are really bad in that part of the country, in Michigan and a lot of the Midwest and a lot of other states. And there's no doubt that the kind of economic consequences of what's happening here are real and dire for a lot of people. They have huge political implications for the campaign going forward. But just in terms of the real lives of real people, the reality is that, there are two crises going on here. One crisis is this public health crisis. It's paramount, but there's another crisis going on, and it's a crisis where a lot of people who live paycheck to paycheck are having to deal with a huge amount of economic stress and a huge amount of anxiety about when they're going to be able to get back to work.
Congressman Kildee, you're in Flint, Michigan tonight. What is it like in Flint, and why aren't the people of Flint out there marching in the streets?
Because I think they know what's at stake. The people of Flint have, sadly, pretty significant experience with the health crisis. I mean, we have a crisis on top of a crisis here in Flint. The water crisis is not really over yet. And now we have this issue on top of it. But so people here are feeling the pain doubly. And I think they understand that it takes time to deal with these sorts of issues. But I think it is important to point out the unemployment issue that you just addressed. We are attempting to give people the tools to stay home. This is a governor to dial back on the life-saving measures that she has taken. Trying to get the governor to dial back on the life-saving measures of the impact. And then we see this group of protesters show up at the Capitol, trying to get the governor to dial back on the life-saving measures that she has taken. Look at the president could take a lesson from Governor Whitmer. She's willing to make tough decisions that in some circles are unpopular, but she knows that these decisions will save lives. This is really fundamentally a question between people who don't have the patience of a few weeks.
Okay. There's a couple things about that clip that I think need to be expressed here, guys. First of all, I think it's reductive as hell to say those people out there protesting because they want to get smoothies. Yeah, that's a little condescending as hell, isn't it, Kildee? Congressman Kildee, and then a little bit over the top. That's why they're out there. Really, they're out there because they want smoothies, Johnson. Now, some people are out there because they don't have money. Some people are out there because they want to get back to their life. And the reason why they want to get back to their life, because frankly, guys, who doesn't want time off? But it's not time off if you're stressed out because you need to pay your light bill. It's not a vacay or staycay if they about to come get your TV or your car. Okay, so these are real issues. I know in Maryland, he said, well, Tim, it's all good. You know, your mortgage, they can't foreclose on you during this. Okay, yeah. But what they'll do is they'll stack it. So you won't have to pay April yet, but you'll have two mortgages in May if you don't pay April. It's not going away, Johnson. Not going to put it on the end. I thought that's what they were going to do. No, that's not what they're going to do. Maybe they're doing that in other states. I don't know what they're doing in Michigan. So don't be so reductive, Kildee. But to the other point to this, though, here's the thing I think that needs to be said. Okay, guys? Here goes a prime example of why people are idiots. Yeah, people are idiots. We're not long for this world. We're lucky to be here this long. Okay? Case in point. Instead of protesting your governor to open up everything so that you can have the ability to die or infect and kill other people, you should be protesting your government and asking them, why don't they have your back? Look, if you're a hardworking person, a person who has done his or her share by putting in your subsequent amount of work, you should be covered because this is the richest country in the world. You should be covered. This is no excuse for why they can't make sure that you live indoors. You've been contributing to society, haven't you? All my patriotic Michiganders who voted for Donald Trump, didn't you participate in our economy? Aren't you part of the reason why our economy works? It doesn't just work because it works. It works because of people like you. Why are you protesting being safe or being saved from a pandemic? You should be protesting why your government is bailing out corporations instead of you. That's what we need you to do. It's the same argument we have about health care all the time. We try to tell you, you should have health care as a human right because you live here, because you are a human, and because, damn it, we can afford it. And it's cheaper. It's even cheaper than what we currently pay. Medicare for all would be cheaper than what we currently pay. Get it? Because it would be all that excess profit, all the padding of the books, all of the fees, all of the garbage would be done away with because the government wouldn't pay it. Okay? Okay. So that's the knock we have to have on these people. It's what's in their brains that makes them think that they should be upset and angry with rules that are put in place to save them, but not be upset and angry with rules that are put in place to deprive them, to put them in harm's way, to not make sure their needs are met when they're needed the most. That's the failure. And this exposes the failure of our system. It exposes the gluttony at the top, the greed at the top, and the lack of consideration and care, and why our system is fundamentally broken. So right now there's a microscope on it because so many people are affected. Many people are affected every day, regardless to a pandemic, by basic illness, sir and ma'am and child and person listening, whoever thou art. And this is the reason why we fight so hard. That's why I'm fighting not just for me, but for people like you and people as dumb as you who think it's okay to not have coverage. It's okay that people go bankrupt every day. It's okay that they fall on hard times, that they live in the street and outside. We got people that serve this country sleeping outside of boarded up buildings that are perfectly flowing with AC and heat, and they're sleeping outside. You live in a country where people will step over you, see you homeless, see your dog, take your dog to a shelter and leave you there on the concrete to freeze to death. And you call that pride. I call it stupid, Johnson. All right. All right, Johnson. Okay, just a couple of more things. So, this coronavirus has people saying stupid stuff, but it also reveals that we have a subset of people in this country that are so detached from reality, and they're so living in a bubble to such an extent that they say the most heinous things. We're talking horrible things, and we're talking about people that are in the limelight. We all get kind of tired of seeing somebody say something stupid and they lose their entire way of life, their living, their education for saying something stupid. They're 19, 18 years old or 16 years old. They say something stupid and it gets blown up on Twitter, and now it's the cancel culture. I don't agree with that. I think, we got to get people a pathway to redemption. Let's educate people, not throw people away. You throw them away, all they do is join the skinheads, Johnson. You throw people away, they join the skinheads. Where are they going to go? They're still here. They're just now unemployed and they're even more resentful. So we must give people a pathway back. All they do is shoot a black person when a black person knocks on their door asking for directions. You understand, they're more angry and on pins and needles. We have to give people a pathway back. But here's the deal, man. What they're doing now, let's just run this.
Dr. Oz, help us. Well, first, we need our mojo back. Let's start with things that are really critical to the nation, where we think we might be able to open without getting into a lot of trouble. I tell you, schools are a very appetizing opportunity. I just saw a nice piece in The Lancet arguing that the opening of schools may only cost us 2 to 3% in terms of total mortality. And, that's any life is a life lost. But to get every child back into a school where they're safely being educated, being fed, and making the most out of their lives with a theoretical risk in the backside, it might be a trade-off some folks would consider. We need to get industry back, supply lines. I mean, things that we can do without putting the nation at risk, Doctor.
So I played that clip for you guys yesterday. We had a couple people who responded to my video on that, saying, well, he wasn't just talking about the kids actually dying, Tim. That 2 to 3% number was, people in general dying because kids went back to school. See, Tim, you need to listen more closely. He's saying let the kids go back to school, and they won't be the ones that die, just their parents. Oh, okay, thanks, Johnson. I'm glad you cleared that up for me. I thought I had a reason to be upset there for a minute. For a minute there, I thought it was the kids. Oh, so you say I shouldn't be upset because it's going to be people like me, not the kids. How is that better, Johnson? So your argument is that Dr. Oz, he didn't say kill the kids. He said let the kids become instruments of death. Let the kids become time bombs. Basically, let the kids go to school, get guns, and load them, and come back and shoot the grandparents. That's basically what you're saying, and you're saying that 2 to 3% number, which, when you have a population of 300 million, turns out to be 3 million, you say that's acceptable because now you get to ride your horsey and watch more Netflix. Because you can now go to the movies and to the Broadway plays. Do you understand that Dr. Phil's not, do you understand that Dr. Oz is not worried about your kids? He's not worried about you and your grandma. He's worried because he knows you'll just die off. He's good. He's in a bunker somewhere. Yeah, he's got enough money to go to an island where there's no poor people on it. You just go there and just chill out for a couple weeks. Come back and just, don't have to worry about you taking up space at the NBA. Do you understand what I'm saying? As if he goes to the NBA. He hires a guy to go to the NBA for him. Do you understand what privileged life is? Your shirt crusted over with old ravioli sauce on it, thinking someone cares about you. They don't care about you. Do you understand? Defending Dr. Oz. That better had been a bot on my page saying that stupid shit. Well, Dr. Oz, he said he wouldn't this wouldn't put us in a lot of trouble, but he ended up in a lot of trouble and he had to apologize. Yeah, he was like, maybe what I said, I meant to say it the right way. Then he doubled down. But, what I was trying to say was, basically, wah, 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 wah. Sometimes people got to die, Johnson. Wah, 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 wah. We need to get our money right. Wah, 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 wah. I got my mind on my money and my money on my mind. Well, not to be outdone in the land of stupid, Dr. Phil decided he needed to talk.
250 people a year die from poverty. And the poverty line is getting such that more and more people are going to fall below that because the economy is crashing around us. And they're doing that because people are dying from the coronavirus. I get that. But look, the fact of the matter is we have people dying. 45,000 people a year die from automobile accidents, 480,000 from cigarettes, 360,000 a year from swimming pools. But we don't shut the country down for that. But yet we're doing it for this. And the fallout is going to last for years because people's lives are being destroyed.
I don't know why we care. Why do we care about these people? I mean, we got all this money, and we're worried about these people. I don't understand. Listen here. Let me read 400,000 people die every week. Yeah. We care. You know why we care? I'm going to be honest with you. We care because some rich people might die too. That's why we care, Dr. Phil. You shit-kicking, boot-wearing bastard. That's the real reason why. Because if it was just poor people, nothing would be closed now. Everything would be open. If it was some way that you greedy 1% bastards can make it so it only got the blacks, the lats, and the poor whites, you'd be good. Everything be open should be open extended hours to take more of us out. You're not fooling me, Dr. Phil. Oh, but I'm not saying that, Tim Black. Come on here, Tim Black. Oh, I know, that dog don't hunt. We need to get out here and get the black kids out here. Mr. Squeegee needs to go. These people are lame. They're the devil, Johnson. That's what they are. They're the devil. Dr. Phil is talking about car accidents as if that's the same thing as killing your grandma because you sneezed. Like that's the same thing. And you know what? Maybe we should shut down the country for those other things that you cited. We should shut down the country for those. We should bring it to a halt and take all of you rich bastards out and eat you. That's what we should do. We should start with your corporation, your huge conglomerate, break that up, break up the monopolies, and then just go to the guillotines with the rest of you. Because you never cared about us to begin with. Okay? That's what needs to happen. So if it was up to me, we would shut it all down. Starting with your show. And your fake doctorate. So, yeah, Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz. These fake doctors are really pissing me off. I understand Dr. Oz is actually a doctor. I don't know. He's still a creep. So was Dr. Kevorkian. Do you know the guy that killed people? That guy was a doctor too. And there's a couple doctors throughout history who did human experiments on humans while they were awake and alive, and it's been all kinds of doctors. Everybody's not Dr. Barnaby Jones or. All right. So we did AOC. We did Dr. Phil. We did MSNBC. Okay, so just to remind you of how horrible this whole situation has been, that there are real people on the other side of this. There are actual human beings being touched by the coronavirus. I don't need to tell you. A lot of you already know it. Michael Che. Now, Michael Che, let me get to this. Now, Michael Che, how many people know Michael Che? SNL Michael Che pays rent for everyone in the building his grandmother lived in before she died of the coronavirus. Now, Michael Che, very funny comedian, Wednesday announced on Instagram he'll be paying 1 month's rent for the 160 tenants in an apartment, a New York City housing apartment authority building. And he said, it's crazy to me that residents of this public housing are still expected to pay their rent when so many New Yorkers can't even work. He wrote this on Instagram. I think he later deleted it. I'm not sure. So like this is happening. Like his grandma helped raise him, very close to his grandmother. She passed away from coronavirus, and it's just this is like hitting home to a lot of people. A lot of people affected by it, and this is why when you hear people like Dr. Oz or Dr. Phil make these stupid ass comments, we know that they're not human beings. They're not us. They're not people who have feelings, have attachments to things that are human. They have attachment to things. He says it's crazy to me that residents of this housing are still expected to pay their rent when they can't even go to work. I can't offer much but help by myself, but in the spirit and memory of my late grandmother, I'm paying 1 month's rent for all 160 apartments in this housing authority place. I know this is just a drop in the bucket, but I really hope the city has a better plan for debt forgiveness for all people in the public housing at the very least. P.S. de Blasio, Cuomo, Diddy, let's fix this. Page me, Che. So, Michael Che trying to do something, anything to try to mitigate the horrible crap that's going on and the response to it. Whew. I felt like I was in a speed race there trying to get that all out for Michael Che, but shout out to Michael Che for that. Now, one of my viewers, we're about to go to phone lines, y'all, 319-527-6212. One of my viewers said, Tim Black, we need to start doing something. We need to pick me up. Everything's so heavy, and we got people going through depression. People are struggling, and people are really going through it, man. And I mean, personally, I know exactly what you're talking about because I have this thing going on right now it's really got me, man. I'm at my wit's end. I mean, I'm at the end of my rope as well. And what that thing is, I have my kids home. Can I get an amen from the church, please? I'm here with kids, and they are loud. And it doesn't stop, Johnson. They keep. First of all, they eat me out of house and home. They're eating everything. They're going to start eating. They might eat me. I'm worried, Johnson. I sleep with one eye open. You know, and the schedules are all jacked up. I mean, I got 2 grandbabies, right? So one is 8, the other is 1 year. And the 8-year-old, she don't go to sleep till like 6 in the morning. And the 1-year-old, she don't go to sleep till midnight. She wake up when she wants, she do what she wants, she run the house. Okay, my son's 11, and he goes to sleep. I don't know if he goes to sleep. I don't know. I really don't. And we have to ask him and beg him to wash up, take a shower, please. And you use deodorant, please. Please do something. Please wash your ass, please. Please. You smell really bad, man. Wash. He walked by. God, man, look. And we're all crammed in here. We're all crammed in here. And so, like, I'm at wit's end and you're at wit's end. So I need to pick me up as much as you need to pick me up. I need some luck. I need something to work out. I need something great to happen. And all the drama in the progressive community, and this is just horrible, man. Comment sections full of pissed off, angry people. And then, so here goes a clip that I found that shows what resilience is and what teamwork is, and that, yes, good things can happen. Always, Johnson. That's right. That was 5 in a row, Johnson. If you're on the phone lines, you just saw 5 young ladies from the women's basketball, the Go Jacks. Go Jacks, that's right. At Go Jacks WBB, the Summit League champions, NCAA tournament appearances, 9 of those, 9 Summit League champions, 10 seasons ranked in the top 25 of Division I GPA. Go Jacks WBB. These ladies all hit half-court shots, not foul line, half-court shots, all nothing but net. It can be done, Johnson. All it takes is faith. And a little bit of luck, Johnson. All right, guys, we're going to go to commercial, then we're going to come back to go to those phone lines. Don't forget, share this on social media. And while I'm at it, while you're at it, join us. Join us on patreon.com. Tim's Take Live. Become a member for only $5 a month. You become official. And being official is where it's at.